Hi, I'm Tom Colota, Senior Manager of Industry Partnerships here at Autodesk, and today I'll be talking to CSC to learn a little bit more about them.
My name's Kevin Lee. I am the BIM Development Manager at CSC, working with Autodesk as one of their industry partners.
So Kevin, tell me a little bit more about CSC and the business that you're in.
CSC have been specialising in providing structural engineering software for 35 years now. We specialise in providing code-based design modelling solutions for structural engineers, and that enables engineers to provide a design that is strictly in compliance with their chosen code of practice.
Okay, and CSC, your software, can you name for me a couple of your key software products that work together with Autodesk products?
Sure. We have three key products. The first is Fast Track, which is used for the design of steel buildings. The next is Orion for the design of concrete buildings. And we also have a product called TEDS, which is used to automate hand calculations, everyday calculations that engineers would undertake.
Okay, great. And tell me a little bit more about the interaction between, it's Revit structure that your products work with?
That's right, yeah.
Yes. So can you tell me a little bit more about how that actually works and what the benefit is to the structural engineer that's out there?
Yeah. We've developed a product called Revit Integrator, and this product embeds into Revit structure, and it allows us to pass models from, say, Fast Track and Orion into Revit. So if you imagine I have a building that I've designed in Revit, I can take the structural frame out of there, I can communicate it to Fast Track, the engineer can add loading, wind loading, and all the information he needs to complete a design. He can choose to check the structure that's come from Revit, or he can actually choose to automate a design and see what the most efficient design is, again, relative to his chosen code of practice. Then he can synchronize the two models together to update the Revit model automatically. So we can then look at the changes such as amendments, deletions, anything that's moved around, and we can color code the Revit model to see what's changed. So we can then report to the user what the process has been, so they can manage it and hopefully give them a bit more confidence as well.
Interesting. So it sounds to me like there's some great efficiencies and productivity that happens through that process. Not only that, but also the accuracy, I'm sure, of that link between the two models. Is that right? Is that the true value to the structural engineer? They're saving time and being more productive?
Yeah, that's basically it. I suppose there's two key benefits. One is a reduction in errors. Okay. Because first of all, we're not reproducing the data. We can share the information. And if you think about it, engineers are having to produce geometry into tools like Revit, then they're having to reproduce it in their design tools. And depending on the design tools they use, sometimes they're actually reproducing it 3 or 4 times. Now the beauty of Fast Track is Fast Track can cope with pretty complex geometry in one model. So we actually can synchronize the two models and actually come up with a code-compliant design. And by sharing the geometry, we haven't got that manual intervention that sometimes creeps in and the odd errors that may creep in. So you're right, that's the first thing. And then the other thing is efficiency. Okay. So on the efficiency side, again, because we're sharing the geometry, we're not having to reproduce it. So, the feedback we get from our clients is that they're literally halving their design time because they're not having to reproduce the geometry over and over again. And because we can then synchronize the two models, we can pass models back and forth throughout the timeline of the project, which just means that we don't have to redo things manually every single time.
Yeah, that's very compelling, Kevin. I think all structural engineers would be really, really well served by using both of our products together. So lastly, my last question to you is, what do you feel, or tell me a little bit more about how CSC views the partnership with Autodesk, and where do you see that going in the future from your perspective?
I think in reality why we're interested in working with Autodesk this closely is one, to promote structural BIM. Okay, I think engineers in the main have adopted, let's say, external BIM well, the coordination across disciplines and making sure projects fit together well, there's no clashes. And they're probably just starting to realise the benefits of, let's say, internal BIM, or their internal processes, of where they can share the data internally in their own departments to gain this efficiencies. So by working with Autodesk, really what we're interested in doing is promoting structural BIM, promoting the use of the use of Revit and CSC's design tools. And moving forward, we see that just giving our mutual clients better tools to achieve more efficiencies.
That's great. And I can say, at least from an Autodesk perspective, we're really excited to be partnering with you and CSC. The analysis and all the good work that you're bringing to the table is really going to advance that structural BIM out there. So thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you.